Last winter, a patient of mine, Elena, 78 years old, slipped while reaching for her mailbox. She wasn't hurt badly at first, but she couldn't get up. 40 minutes passed before anyone found her. By the time she reached the hospital, her body temperature had dropped dangerously low. What shocked me most wasn't the fall itself. It was what she told me afterward. "I didn't know what to do," she said. "I panicked. My own body stopped listening to me." I'm Dr. Peter, and today we're tackling one of the most urgent, least discussed crises facing older adults. What actually happens in those first few minutes after a fall, and 5 simple steps that can genuinely save your life. Falls are not accidents of weakness. They're tests of preparation. Every year, more than 1 in 4 adults over 65 experience a fall, and for many of them, it becomes the moment their independence starts slipping away. But here's the part almost nobody talks about. Most of the real damage doesn't come from the fall itself. It comes from what happens, or doesn't happen, in the minutes right after. Fear freezes the body, and that freeze delays help. Today, I'm going to walk you through 5 movements and mental resets that keep your blood flow steady, protect your vital organs, and help you find strength even when you're certain you can't. No fancy equipment, no gym, just your body, used wisely. Before we go any further, if you're watching this from the United States, tap that hype button right now. If you're watching from anywhere else in the world, drop a like and tell me in the comments which country you're watching from. I always love seeing how far this reaches. And if you live alone, or you care for someone who does, please stay with me all the way through, because by the end, you'll know the exact sequence emergency responders wish every senior practiced long before they ever needed it. Let's start with something most people don't realize. When someone falls, it's often not the impact itself that causes the most harm. It's the body's reaction afterward. I've had patients describe it to me like time slowing down, their mind wide awake, but their limbs simply refusing to move. Why does that happen? Because in that moment, your body believes it's protecting you. When you hit the ground, your nervous system triggers a very old, primitive reflex, the same one animals use when they're injured. Your heart rate slows. Your blood pressure drops. Your muscles go rigid. It's sometimes called tonic immobility, nature's version of a pause button. In younger bodies, this passes quickly, but in older adults, that pause can become genuinely dangerous, sometimes trapping you in a position where blood flow to the brain or limbs becomes restricted. That's exactly why so many people say they felt dizzy or weak, even after what looked like a minor fall. The shock, the sudden change in blood pressure, and a rush of adrenaline all confuse the brain's balance centers at once. Your inner ear sends signals that don't match what your eyes are seeing, and your brain hesitates, trying to make sense of the chaos. In a younger body, that recalibration takes seconds. After 60, it can take minutes, and in those minutes, panic often creeps in. That's the critical moment. Panic. Because once fear takes over, your breathing shortens, your oxygen drops, and your muscles tighten even further. It's like your whole body becomes a locked door with no key. I've had patients tell me, I knew exactly what I needed to do, but I simply couldn't move. And that's why the very first life-saving step isn't movement at all. It's breath. Slow, deliberate breathing is what restarts the communication between your brain and your muscles. Even 2 deep breaths in through your nose, followed by 1 long exhale through your mouth, can begin restoring your strength and your sense of control. Before you even think about getting up, focus first on regaining control of your breathing and your awareness. Think of it like rebooting a computer after it crashes. Your muscles won't respond to commands until your nervous system has had a chance to calm down. And calm doesn't come from trying harder. It comes from slowing down. Now here's something empowering that many seniors don't realize. You may believe you need someone else to physically help you the moment you fall, but often the very first step toward safety is something you can do entirely on your own. So let me ask you something, right in the middle of this conversation. If you fell right now, in this exact moment, do you know what you would do first? Would your instinct be to jump straight up? Because if it is, I want you to remember this video. Because that instinct, however natural it feels, is often exactly what leads to further injury. Once your breathing has slowed and the panic starts to settle, most people's instinct is to push themselves upright immediately. But that's often precisely when real damage occurs. The first 2 minutes after a fall aren't for moving, they're for listening. Your body speaks quietly after trauma, and if you rush, you can easily miss its warning signs. I call this the stillness check, a brief, deliberate pause that helps you determine whether movement is actually safe. Here's exactly how it works. First, keep your head where it landed. Don't twist or turn suddenly. Close your eyes for just a moment and notice 3 things: your breathing, your pain, and your orientation, meaning, do you know where you are and what just happened? If you can answer those clearly, your brain is functioning properly. That's step 1, confirming your own consciousness and awareness. If you feel disoriented or dizzy during that check, that's your signal to stay down and stay calm. Dizziness often points to inner ear disruption or a sudden drop in blood pressure, and staying still for a short period gives your circulation a genuine chance to normalize before your muscles try to act again. I know it feels counterintuitive, because our instinct is always to prove we're fine, but patience in those first moments is what buys you real safety. After that short stillness, begin what I call your micro-movement check. Start from your fingers and toes. Can you wiggle them without sharp pain or tingling? If so, move slowly upward to your wrists, your ankles, your knees. Never roll or twist your torso until you've confirmed there's no stabbing or radiating pain. This slow scan reactivates your body's proprioception, its internal awareness system, and it reboots your coordination piece by piece. This isn't just physical recovery. It's your nervous system relearning, in real time, that it can trust your body again. And that matters, because each small motion you confirm works reduces fear, and that growing confidence is medicine in itself. Once you've confirmed there's no severe pain, dizziness, or confusion, only then should you begin planning to reposition yourself or crawl towards something stable. And that movement must always be deliberate, never rushed. Let's say you've done the stillness check, taken your deep breaths, and confirmed there's no sharp pain or dizziness. You're stable, but you're still on the floor. This is where most people get scared, because they know they need to get up, but they don't know how, without hurting themselves. Here is the safest way. We call it the roll and rise method, and it's supported by decades of physical therapy practice. First, bend one knee slowly and roll onto your side, whichever side feels least painful. Use your arm to support your head as you do this. Once you're on your side, pause, take another breath, and make sure the room isn't spinning. This simple pause helps stabilize your blood flow before you continue. It's not a race, it's a rhythm. Next, bring your upper body forward so you're resting on your elbow and forearm. Then, push gently until both hands are flat on the ground. From there, move one leg forward so you're on all fours, hands and knees. This position is remarkably powerful because it evenly distributes your body weight and minimizes strain on your spine. It's the same technique rehabilitation specialists use during recovery training, and It's not a coincidence that it looks almost primal, like how children learn to crawl before they walk. It's one of the body's safest, most stable patterns. Once you're on all fours, crawl slowly toward a sturdy piece of furniture. A chair, a bed, or a couch works best. Place your hands on the seat or edge and bring your strongest leg forward, foot flat on the ground. Keep breathing steadily. Then, using both your arms and your front leg, push up gently until you're in a half-kneeling position. You're never jerking upward or twisting. You're transferring your weight gradually, from floor to support. Here's something many people don't realize. Your vision plays a role too. Keep your eyes focused on the horizon, not the floor. It helps stabilize your inner ear's balance system and helps your brain coordinate steadiness. Once you're upright, stay holding the support for a few seconds before taking any steps. This gives your blood pressure time to normalize. Breathe, roll, crawl, rise. It's such a simple, intelligent sequence, and it's not about strength, it's about sequence. Your body knows how to get up safely when you give it time and direction. Even frail individuals can rise independently with this method if they stay calm and focused. But getting up isn't the finish line, it's the halfway point. Many people believe that once they're back on their feet, the danger has passed. But sometimes the real risk begins after you stand up. When your body goes from the floor to standing, blood suddenly shifts downward again. For an older adult, this can trigger a sharp drop in blood pressure, known as orthostatic hypotension, leading to dizziness, nausea, or even a second fall. And because adrenaline is still elevated from the shock, many people don't notice the warning signs until it's almost too late. So what's the right approach in those crucial 10 to 15 minutes after standing? Start with what I call the pause and pulse check. Once you've reached a stable surface and you're upright, stay seated or holding support for 1 full minute. Use that minute to take 3 deep breaths and lightly touch your pulse at your wrist or your neck. You're not counting, just noticing. If your heartbeat feels erratic, fast, or faint, remain seated and keep breathing until it steadies. That's your body recalibrating its blood flow. If you feel lightheaded or unsteady, sit back down immediately, return to a supported kneeling or seated position, and start breathing again. Never fight dizziness by forcing yourself to stay upright. Sitting or lying back down quickly at the first sign of dizziness meaningfully reduces the risk of fainting because it gives your cardiovascular system time to restore its balance. Stability first. Pride second. It's not about proving you're fine. It's about making sure you actually are. Next comes hydration. A fall, especially one that keeps you on the ground for several minutes, often leads to mild dehydration because stress hormones pull water into your muscles and away from your circulation. Drink a small glass of water, just a few sips at a time. That alone can help restore your blood pressure and reduce the chance of delayed weakness. Warmth matters too, especially if you've been on a cold floor. Cold constricts your blood vessels, making it harder for your muscles to recover. A warm blanket or even a light shawl helps reopen circulation and calm your nervous system. If a family member or neighbor arrives to help, their priority shouldn't be to fuss or lift you immediately. It should be to keep you warm, hydrated, and talking. Speech keeps your brain active and helps prevent the slow drift into confusion that sometimes follows shock. Talking aloud, describing what happened, even repeating where you are and what time it is, helps ground your brain and prevents disorientation. Once you've worked through breathing, the pulse check, hydration, warmth, and orientation, only then should you decide whether medical attention is needed. If there's bruising, a headache, or any change in your vision, call for help immediately. And even if you feel completely fine, it's wise to let your doctor know within 24 hours. Because minor internal injuries can sometimes take time to reveal themselves. The recovery window isn't about rushing. It's about rebalancing, helping your body re-establish its own rhythm after trauma. And that rhythm is the difference between fear and freedom. Because once you understand this sequence, the fear of falling no longer controls you. You control it. But here's the part that often lingers long after the bruises fade and the shock wears off. The fear remains. So many seniors tell me, "Doctor, I just don't trust my legs anymore," and that fear of falling again keeps them from moving. Ironically, that very immobility makes the next fall even more likely. It's one of the cruelest cycles of aging. The fear that's meant to protect you becomes the very thing that weakens you. Your nervous system remembers fear, and when it anticipates danger, it tightens your muscles, narrows your breathing, and actually distorts your balance further. That's exactly why rebuilding confidence is just as critical as rebuilding muscle. It starts with what I call micro-movements of safety, small, deliberate actions that remind your body that motion can be safe again. Before standing, place your hand on a stable surface and shift your weight from heel to toe 5 times. It's a quiet signal to your brain: we are moving and we are safe. Let me share 3 simple exercises that help retrain your body after a fall. The first is the wall glide. Stand with your back against a wall, feet about 6 inches forward. Slide down an inch, hold for 3 seconds, then rise slowly. This reawakens your thigh and hip stabilizers, the muscles that protect your knees during balance shifts. The second is the chair reach. Sit tall in a sturdy chair and reach one arm forward, then the other. It seems simple, but it activates the deep spinal muscles that keep your posture upright during everyday movements, like reaching for a shelf or turning to look behind you. And the third is the ankle roll. While seated, rotate your ankles gently, 5 times in each direction. This improves circulation, mobility, and your body's internal sense of where it is in space. Most falls begin when that internal map blurs. Beyond the physical, I ask my patients to use a simple mental anchor. Before standing or walking, silently repeat to yourself, "My body is stable. My breath is calm." This shifts your focus from fear to control. It's simple, but powerful. When your brain believes you're stable, it adjusts your posture automatically. 5 minutes twice a day, done consistently, helps rewire both your balance and your confidence over time. Regaining strength after a fall isn't just about muscles, it's about freedom. Freedom to walk without fear, to shower, to garden, to live normally again. You are not fragile, you are adaptable. Aging doesn't erase resilience. It simply asks that you practice it intentionally. Each small movement, each breath you take before you rise, is a quiet declaration that your body still belongs to you. Aging doesn't take away your ability to rise, it just asks that you rise differently. And once you understand this rhythm, breathing, assessing, moving, balancing, you stop fearing the floor. It becomes just another surface you can return from. Falling isn't failure. It's information. It's your body telling you something needs your attention. When we listen to that message with patience instead of panic, we heal smarter, faster, and stronger. I've seen patients in their 90s regain full independence after a serious fall, simply because they learned to trust their body again. That trust is the real foundation of long-term independence. If this video helped you today, please hit that like button and subscribe to this channel so we can keep working on your health and safety together. And once again, tell me in the comments which country you're watching from, and whether you or someone you love has ever experienced a fall like this. Your story might be exactly what helps someone else feel less alone. Or more prepared the next time it matters most. Safety isn't luck, it's knowledge. The breath that steadies you, the pause that protects you, the method that lifts you back up. These aren't just emergency skills, they're life skills, and they're already within your reach. Thank you for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.